Captain John Wells stood at the viewport of the U.S. Horizon, Earth's first true interstellar vessel. The massive space station of the Galactic Conclave loomed ahead, a sprawling structure of gleaming metal and pulsing lights. After decades of work, humans had finally developed faster-than-light travel, and the galaxy had noticed. Quite a sight, isn't it? Dr. Olivia Nash joined him at the window. Her eyes reflected the distant stars as she adjusted her uniform. As the mission's xenobiologist, she had spent years preparing for this moment. "Never thought I'd see the day," John replied. "First contact with not just one alien species, but 27 of them." Lieutenant Eric Donovan approached from behind, his face serious as always. "Captain, we're receiving docking instructions from the Conclave. They're rolling out the red carpet." John nodded. "Let's hope this welcome is as friendly as it seems." The Horizon glided into its assigned berth with gentle precision. John felt a slight bump as the docking clamps secured the ship. This was it, humanity's first official step into the galactic community. The welcoming committee waited in the docking bay. 6 different alien species stood in a neat row, their bodies wildly different from one another. Some had too many limbs, others too few. Some had scales, others fur, and one appeared to be made of crystalline structures. A tall, blue-skinned being with 4 arms stepped forward. "Captain Wells, I am Ambassador Trill of the Galactic Conclave. We welcome Earth to the stars." Its voice came through a translator device hanging around what John assumed was its neck. Olivia whispered, "Remarkable adaptations. The blue one must come from a low-gravity world based on that height." The Earth delegation followed their alien hosts through corridors filled with species of all shapes and sizes. Some nodded respectfully as they passed. Others watched with unreadable expressions. Over the next 3 days, the humans attended meetings, banquets, and tours. They signed preliminary agreements and exchanged scientific knowledge. The aliens seemed eager to learn about Earth. But something felt off to Olivia. She noticed how conversations stopped when humans approached, how certain areas of the station were declared under maintenance whenever they asked to visit, how the aliens asked many questions about Earth's defenses but shared little about their own. On the 4th day, Ambassador Trill announced, "Tomorrow, Earth will formally join the Conclave with a special ceremony. It is a great honor." That evening, Olivia found John in his quarters. "Captain, something isn't right." The Pyraxians were discussing some vote when I walked in. They stopped immediately. John frowned. Lieutenant Donovan reported the same thing. "And our communications with Earth keep experiencing technical difficulties." "We should be careful tomorrow," Olivia suggested. John nodded. "I've already told the crew to be on alert." The next day, the Earth delegation entered the Grand Chamber of the Conclave. Representatives from all 27 species sat in tiered seats around a central platform. Ambassador Trill guided John, Olivia, and Eric to stand in the middle. "Today marks a historic occasion," Trill announced to the assembly. "The species known as humans have reached the stars." The chamber erupted in sounds that the translators rendered as applause. "And now," Trill continued, "we shall reveal the true purpose of this gathering." The doors slid shut with a heavy thud. Armed guards appeared at every exit. "The Conclave has voted unanimously on the status of humanity within our galactic order," Trill said, voice suddenly cold. "Based on your technological development and resource potential, humans are hereby classified as a servant species." John stepped forward. "What does that mean?" "It means," Trill said, "that Earth is now property of the Conclave. Your people will serve us as we see fit. Your planet will be harvested for its resources." Eric reached for his sidearm, but found himself frozen in place by some invisible force. "Resistance is pointless," Trill said. "Even now, our ships approach Earth to begin the pacification process." Olivia's face paled. "You planned this all along." "Of course. Why waste resources developing a species that can simply be harvested?" Trill gestured, and guards moved forward. "Take them to holding cells." They will be useful for studying human physiology. As they were led away, John caught Olivia's eye and nodded slightly. What the Conclave didn't know was that Earth had been preparing for this possibility all along. The aliens had just made a terrible mistake. General Lisa Carter paced the underground command center beneath the Rocky Mountains. Screens around her showed the approaching alien fleet, 27 massive ships representing each species of the Galactic Conclave. "Time to arrival?" she asked. "4 hours, ma'am," replied the young officer at the radar station. Lisa nodded and turned to Dr. Alan Wright, who stood by a holographic display of Earth's defense systems. His glasses reflected the blue light of the screens as he worked. "Is Project Prometheus ready?" she asked. Alan looked up. "Yes, General. The orbital platforms are in position, and the ground-based systems are at full power. We've been ready for this day for 15 years. While the Conclave believed Earth had just developed basic faster-than-light travel, humanity had been preparing for this exact scenario since detecting alien signals decades ago. The public knew nothing of Project Prometheus, the largest secret military program in human history. The door slid open, and Sam Reynolds walked in. His CIA credentials hung around his neck, and dark circles under his eyes showed he hadn't slept in days. "The final communication from Captain Wells came through before they were captured," Sam said. "The code phrase was included. They know it's a trap." Lisa turned to the command staff. "Implement Protocol Hades. I want all systems ready within the hour." Across Earth, hidden military bases activated. In orbit, satellites that appeared to be weather stations transformed, revealing weapons designed specifically to counter alien technology. Beneath the oceans, submarines carrying specialized missiles moved into position. For years, Sam had led a team that secretly monitored and decoded alien communications. They had mapped weaknesses, studied technology, and built countermeasures, all while smiling and pretending to be the naive newcomers to galactic society. "The Conclave is broadcasting on all frequencies," a communications officer called out. The main screen flickered to life. A blue four-armed alien appeared. "People of Earth," the alien said, "I am Ambassador Trill of the Galactic Conclave. Your species has been classified as a servant race. Resistance will only cause unnecessary suffering. Prepare for our arrival and the beginning of your new purpose." Lisa nodded to the communications officer. "Send our prepared response." The officer pressed a button, and a pre-recorded video began to play across all channels, to the approaching fleet and throughout the Conclave communication network. It showed only Lisa, sitting calmly at a desk. "This is General Lisa Carter of Earth Defense Force. We are aware that you have classified us as a servant species and have taken our diplomatic team hostage. You believe us to be technologically inferior. This is a significant error in judgment on your part." The video showed brief clips of Earth's true military capabilities: weapons that could destroy planets, shields that could withstand stellar radiation, and factories that could produce thousands of warships in days. "You have 24 hours to return our people and withdraw from our solar system, or re-escalate." The transmission ended. In space, the first Conclave scout ships entered Earth orbit. They were immediately targeted by defense platforms that, until now, had remained invisible to alien sensors. The platforms fired. 3 alien ships exploded in silent bursts of light. In the command center, Sam watched the sensor readings. "They're confused. Their scanners can't identify our weapon signatures." Another ship approached, this one larger. It fired at one of the defense platforms. The energy weapon splashed harmlessly against a shield. "Return fire," Lisa ordered. A beam of concentrated energy cut the alien ship in half. Ellen checked the readings. The weapon worked exactly as designed. "Their shield technology is just as our intelligence suggested." The remaining alien ships began to retreat, moving back toward the main fleet. "They'll return with greater numbers," Lisa said. "But now they know this won't be the easy conquest they expected." Sam's computer beeped. "General, we're receiving a transmission from the Conclave leadership." Lisa nodded. On screen, Ambassador Krill appeared again, his blue face now showing what humans had learned was the alien equivalent of fear. "What are you?" he asked. Lisa smiled. "We are humans, and you have made a terrible mistake." In holding cells on the conclave station, Captain John Wells felt the slight vibration as ships departed in haste toward Earth. He smiled at Dr. Olivia Nash in the cell across from his. "It's begun," he said quietly. Maya Patel crawled through the narrow maintenance tunnels of the conclave station. As the engineer of the U.S. Horizon, she had slipped away during the chaos of the capture. The aliens never realized one human was missing. For 3 days, she had lived in these tunnels, surviving on emergency rations and watching the aliens through ventilation grates. Maya had mapped half the station already, noting guard positions and command centers in her small digital tablet. Below her, Captain John Wells sat in a cell with Lieutenant Eric Donovan. Maya could see them through the grate. "We need to gather more information," John whispered. "The more we learn about their weaknesses, the better Earth can fight back." Eric nodded. "I've been watching the guards. The reptilian ones can't stand cold. They move slower when they pass the cooling vents." In another section of the detention area, Dr. Olivia Nash was being examined by alien scientists. They had placed her in a chamber meant to test her limits. The air was thin, the gravity heavy, and the temperature uncomfortably hot. "Remarkable," said one alien with transparent skin that showed its organs. "The human has survived conditions that would kill most species." "Their home planet must be incredibly harsh," replied another. Olivia struggled to breathe but remained conscious. She knew she needed to endure this to learn more about their captors. In a different part of the station, diplomat Kendra Williams had been separated from the others and was being forced to translate Earth transmissions. The aliens didn't know she understood some of their language already. "The humans have destroyed 5 more ships," an alien commander reported to his superior. "They have weapons that bypass our shields." "Impossible," the superior replied. "They are primitives." "These primitives just disabled our main battle cruiser." Kendra hid her smile and continued pretending to work on translations. Every piece of information she gathered could help. Maya moved through the tunnels toward the station's power core. If she could disable it, the confusion might allow them to escape. As she reached a junction, she froze. Someone was in the tunnel ahead. A slender alien with purple skin and 4 eyes turned toward her. Maya reached for her makeshift weapon. "Do not fear," the alien said softly. "I am Zexella. I want to help you." Maya kept her distance. Why would you help humans? Not all species agreed with enslaving Earth. Some of us voted against it but were overruled. My people, the Eliorans, believe all intelligent life deserves freedom. You could be lying, Maya said. Zexella extended a hand. In it was a security card. "This will open all detention cells. I can help you free your friends." Meanwhile, back on Earth, the battle had intensified. The Conclave had sent more ships, but each one faced the same devastating Earth defenses. In the command center, General Lisa Carter received a message from Sam Reynolds. "The Conclave is in panic," Sam reported. "They can't understand how we develop these technologies without them noticing. Their communications are filled with confusion." Lisa smiled slightly. "Good. Confusion leads to mistakes." Dr. Alan Wright entered with new information. "General, we've analyzed their ship designs. All 27 species have the same weakness. They rely on quantum field generators that our EMP weapons can disable without destroying the vessels." "Perfect. We can capture their ships rather than destroying them." On the Conclave station, an emergency meeting was called. Representatives from all species gathered to discuss the human problem. "They evolved on a death world," one alien explained, showing readings from Earth. "High gravity, extreme temperature variations, deadly radiation from their sun, poisonous oxygen atmosphere. Their bodies can process toxins that would kill us instantly," added another. "And their endurance is unlike anything we've seen." The supreme leader of the conclave stood up. We may have made a critical error in judgment. Back in the tunnels, Maya and Zexala reached the detention level. With the security card, they opened John's cell. Maya, John whispered in surprise. You're alive. And I've made a friend, she replied, nodding to Zexala. Not all aliens want us enslaved. Earth is fighting back, John told her. We need to help from inside. Free the others. As alarms began to sound throughout the station, the human resistance within the conclave began to take shape. Admiral Frank Morrison stood on the bridge of the EDF Defender, Earth's largest warship. Until now, the vessel had remained hidden beneath the lunar surface in a massive underground hangar. Today, it led a fleet of 50 warships emerging from hidden bases across the solar system. All ships report ready, Admiral, said his communications officer. Frank nodded. Begin Operation Thunderbolt. The human fleet moved toward the conclave forces. On the main view screen, Frank could see the alien armada, over 200 ships of various sizes and designs. They still outnumber us, Frank said to his second-in-command. But numbers aren't everything. Lieutenant Diane Garcia prepared her fighter squadron in the Defender's launch bay. Her experimental craft, codenamed Archangel, was unlike anything the aliens had seen before. Its adaptive systems could change configuration mid-flight. All pilots to your ships, she ordered. Remember your training. These aliens have never faced humans in combat. Let's show them why that was a mistake. 30 fighters launched from the Defender, with Diane leading the formation. The small, agile craft streaked toward the enemy fleet. The alien ships fired energy weapons, but the fighters moved with impossible speed, dodging the blasts. They're predicting our movements based on physics, Diane told her pilots through the comm. Break pattern now. The human fighters suddenly changed direction in ways that seemed to defy the laws of physics. The alien weapons missed entirely. Back on Earth, Dr. Kevin Foster activated the adaptive shield network from his control center. Hundreds of satellites linked together, creating an energy field around the planet. Shield at full power, he reported to General Carter. It should adapt to any weapon they try to use. The conclave ships fired their main weapons at Earth. The energy blasts hit the shield and dissipated harmlessly. They're scanning the shield, Kevin said, watching his monitors. They're trying to find its frequency to bypass it. Let them try, General Carter replied with confidence. The shield changes frequency every 3 seconds. In space, the battle intensified. Diane's fighter squadron targeted the engines of a massive conclave battleship. Target locked, she called to her team. Fire. Their weapons struck with surgical precision. The battleship's engines failed, and it drifted helplessly. On the bridge of the conclave command ship, High Commander Vroktar watched in disbelief. The tall, reptilian alien had never lost a battle before today. How is this possible? He hissed. Their technology is beyond anything we expected. His science officer looked up from a console. Commander, we've analyzed their ships. They appear to be built specifically to counter our weapons and defenses. That would mean they've been studying us for years, Vroktar replied. But we only discovered them recently. Sir, another officer interrupted. The Trilaxian fleet is withdrawing from battle. Vroktar slammed his fist on the console. Cowards. They're requesting permission to open peace talks with the humans. More reports came in. The human fighters had disabled 3 more capital ships. The ground-based weapons had destroyed 5 others. And the human fleet was advancing steadily. Order a strategic withdrawal, Vroktar finally commanded. We need to regroup and reconsider our approach. As the conclave forces began to retreat, Admiral Morrison gave new orders to his fleet. Don't pursue beyond the orbit of Mars. Secure a perimeter around our solar system. On the Defender's bridge, a communication officer called out, Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the Trilaxian fleet. They're requesting a ceasefire and immediate negotiations. Frank considered this. Put them through. A thin, gray-skinned alien appeared on screen. Admiral Morrison. I am Supreme Commander Nex of the Trilaxian Defense Force. We wish to distance ourselves from the Conclave's decision regarding Earth. We seek peaceful relations. You voted to enslave us, Frank replied coldly. A mistake we deeply regret, Nex said. We underestimated your species. We offer technological exchange and the release of your captured citizens in return for peace. Frank's eyes narrowed. Return our people first, then we'll talk. As the human fleet secured its position, Earth's military leaders began to realize something important. The aliens weren't just retreating. They were afraid. Dr. Olivia Nash stood in a large laboratory on the Conclave station. After days as a test subject, the aliens had realized her scientific knowledge was valuable. Now they allowed her to work alongside them, hoping to learn more about humans. Scholar Ithlana, a tall alien with silvery skin that reflected light like a mirror, watched her carefully. Your species puzzles us, Ithlana said. You survived tests that would kill most sentient beings. Olivia carefully examined the data on the screen before her. It showed comparisons between human biology and that of other spacefaring species. Tell me something, Olivia asked. What kind of planets do most intelligent species evolve on? Ithlana brought up a display showing several worlds. Most civilized species come from stable environments. Consistent temperature, predictable weather, low radiation, moderate gravity. And Earth. Ithlana hesitated before touching the controls. A new image appeared, Earth, but labeled with warnings in alien script. Your world is classified as a death world, Ithlana admitted. Extreme seasonal variations, high gravity, dangerous radiation levels, powerful storms, tectonic instability, and oxygen-rich atmosphere toxic to most life forms. Olivia smiled slightly. So we evolved in conditions that would kill most aliens. Precisely why you were classified as dangerous. Species from such worlds rarely develop space travel because they spend too many resources just surviving. Back on Earth, Professor Ben Howard worked with a team examining alien tissue samples obtained from damaged Conclave ships. His laboratory deep beneath Chicago University buzzed with activity. Their cellular structure is remarkably uniform, Ben explained to General Carter, who had come to see his findings. They have almost no genetic variation compared to humans. What does that mean? Lisa asked. It means they can't adapt quickly to new conditions. Humans have extraordinary genetic diversity that allows us to survive in almost any environment, from deserts to Arctic regions. Ben showed her more data. Their bodies have no defense against radiation. They can't handle temperature extremes. And this is most interesting. Their healing abilities are minimal compared to ours. Lisa considered this information. So we're tougher than they expected. We're practically super beings to them, Ben replied. What's normal for us would be lethal for them. On the Conclave station, Captain Greg Martinez and his Special Forces team moved through the corridors. The Trilaxians had provided information on where the human prisoners were held, and Earth had sent a stealth ship to rescue them. Greg motioned to his team to stay low as they approached the detention area. The 6 soldiers wore advanced suits that masked their heat signatures and dampened sound. 2 guards ahead, whispered his second-in-command. Greg nodded and activated his stun weapon. Both guards dropped silently. Inside the detention area, John Wells was organizing the prisoners. Since Maya and Zexella had freed them from their cells, they had been hiding in an abandoned section of the station. We need to hold out just a little longer, John told the 30 human crew members. Earth knows we're alive. They'll come for us. As if on cue, the door slid open. Greg Martinez stepped in, his helmet retracting to show his face. Captain Wells, Special Forces, sir, we're here to take you home. The rescue wasn't going to be easy. They needed to move 30 civilians through hostile territory to reach their extraction point. The station is in chaos, Greg explained as they prepared to move out. Half the Conclave species are arguing with the other half about the human situation. As they made their way through the station, They encountered a section where life support had failed. The temperature had dropped to freezing, and the air was thin. "We can't go this way," Zexela said, shivering. "None of my people could survive these conditions for more than a few minutes." Greg looked at John. "We have no choice. It's the only clear path to the ship." John nodded. "My people can handle it." The humans moved through the freezing section, carrying the weakened Zexela. On the other side, they encountered a group of Conclave security officers who watched in disbelief. "Impossible," one of them said. They walked through a breached zone without protection. The security team surrendered without firing a shot. In the Conclave's main chamber, Scholar Ithlana presented her findings to the ruling council. "Humans are unlike any species we have encountered," she concluded. "They evolved on a planet that would kill most of us within hours. Their adaptability makes them uniquely dangerous and valuable." The Grand Consul looked troubled. "And now we have provoked them." President Laura Mitchell stood in the Oval Office, looking at the holographic display of the solar system. Red dots showed the remaining Conclave ships that still refused to withdraw. Blue dots represented Earth's fleet, now controlling the space around their planet. "Dr. Wright is here to see you, Madam President," her aide announced. Dr. Alan Wright entered, carrying a small metal case. His usually neat hair was messy, and his eyes showed he hadn't slept in days. "You have news?" Laura asked. Alan placed the case on the desk and opened it. Inside was a small vial containing what looked like shimmering gray liquid. "Project Prometheus is complete," he said. "This is what we've been working on for the past decade." "It doesn't look like much," Laura observed. "This vial contains billions of nanites, microscopic machines that can reshape matter at the molecular level. And they work." Alan nodded. "We've tested them in isolated environments. They can transform a barren landscape into a habitable one in days, or they can do the opposite." Laura understood immediately. A weapon and a tool in one. "Exactly. We can terraform worlds to suit human needs, or we can make environments hostile to alien biology while leaving them perfectly habitable for humans." In orbit around Earth, General Lisa Carter received the news of the completed Project Prometheus. She immediately called a meeting with her command staff. "The President has authorized a demonstration," Lisa told them. "We'll show the Conclave exactly what we're capable of." On the main view screen, a small rocky moon orbited a distant gas giant in the outer solar system. "We've chosen this location for the demonstration," Lisa continued. "Uninhabited, but visible to all Conclave sensors." Earth ships moved into position around the moon. Special launchers deployed canisters containing the nanites. "Begin the process," Lisa ordered. The canisters released their contents onto the moon's surface. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, patches of green began to appear. Within hours, the barren moon had clouds forming in a newly created atmosphere. Water filled the lowlands, creating seas. Plants spread across the surface. What had been a lifeless rock was rapidly becoming an Earth-like world. On the Conclave station, Grand Consul Sorthenix watched the transformation with growing horror. The tall, tentacled alien turned to his advisors. "They can remake worlds at will," he whispered. "Do you understand what this means?" His science minister nodded slowly. "They could terraform any planet to suit themselves, or make our worlds uninhabitable to us while perfect for them. This changes everything," Sorthenix said. "They are not merely dangerous. They are apocalyptic." The remaining hostile Conclave ships gathered for one final, desperate attack. 17 vessels from the most stubborn species approached Earth. President Laura Mitchell addressed them via transmission. "This is your final warning," she said firmly. "Earth has demonstrated its power. We can reshape worlds. We choose to use this ability peacefully, but make no mistake, we will defend ourselves." The alien ships continued their approach. "They're not backing down," General Carter reported. Laura's expression hardened. "Deploy the defense nanites." Small drones launched from Earth's defense platforms, heading toward the approaching fleet. As they reached the alien ships, they released clouds of specialized nanites. The nanites attached to the hulls of the ships and began to work. They didn't destroy the vessels. Instead, they selectively disabled weapons, engines, and communication systems. Within minutes, the attack fleet drifted helplessly in space. "No casualties," reported Lisa. "All ships disabled but life support systems untouched." On his flagship, Commander Vroktar stared in disbelief at his dead controls. His mighty warship, pride of the Conclave fleet, had been defeated without a single shot fired. How? He asked no one in particular. How can they do this? A junior officer approached cautiously. "Sir, we're receiving a message from Earth." Laura Mitchell's face appeared on the screen. "Your ships are disabled, not destroyed," she said. "Your crews are unharmed. We could have killed you all, but that is not our way. Consider this mercy, Commander Vroktar." Vroktar had no choice. "What are your terms?" "Unconditional surrender of all Conclave forces, return of all human prisoners, and a new treaty, one that recognizes Earth as an equal, not a servant." The commander lowered his head. "We accept." 3 months after the surrender of the Conclave forces, the great hall of the station had been transformed. Gone were the tiered seats that had placed some species above others. Now a circular table dominated the center, with all representatives seated as equals. Ambassador Nicole Bradley, Earth's newly appointed representative, entered the hall. The tall woman with dark skin and confident eyes took her place at the table. Captain John Wells and Dr. Olivia Nash stood behind her as advisors. Grand Consul Sorthenix, now serving as transitional leader until the new government structure was implemented, called the meeting to order. "Today marks a new beginning for our galactic community," he said, his translator conveying his words to all present. "The treaty with Earth will be signed, and a new era will begin." Nicole opened the document before her. "Earth accepts the Conclave's surrender and offers friendship in return. We seek not dominance but partnership." One by one, representatives from all 27 species signed the treaty. Some did so eagerly, others with reluctance, but all recognized the new reality. After the signing, Nicole announced Earth's terms. "First, all Conclave leadership who voted for Earth's enslavement will step down," she stated firmly. "Second, reparations will be paid to Earth in the form of technological exchange. Third, a new Galactic Council will replace the Conclave, with equal representation for all species, including humans. Most important was the final term. Earth will share its terraforming technology with worlds in need, helping to solve environmental crises across the galaxy." This announcement caused murmurs of surprise. The aliens had expected punishment, not assistance. Later, at the celebration banquet, Captain Wells found himself speaking with Scholar Ithlana. "There is something I must ask," Ithlana said quietly. "Why did all species vote against Earth? It puzzled me even before these events." John raised an eyebrow. "You don't know." "There was a prophecy," Ithlana explained. "Ancient texts found on the oldest world spoke of a species that would rise from a death world. This species would either save the galaxy or dominate it utterly. And you chose to ensure domination by striking first," John concluded. "Fear guided the vote," Ithlana admitted. "We chose poorly." Across the room, Dr. Nash was showing alien scientists images of Earth's diverse environments. "Humans live in deserts, Arctic regions, jungles, and mountains," she explained. "We adapt to virtually any climate. And now you can make any world adapt to you," one scientist noted with a mixture of fear and admiration. "We prefer to adapt technologies to work with nature, not against it," Olivia corrected. "Our terraforming will respect existing ecosystems." On a view screen, live feeds showed Earth ships helping a drought-stricken alien world. The nanite technology was creating water reclamation systems and revitalizing soil while preserving the planet's unique ecology. President Laura Mitchell addressed the gathering via holographic projection. "Earth remembers the vote to enslave us," she said, her voice calm but firm. But we choose to look forward rather than back. Humanity has always faced challenges. We evolved on a world that forced us to adapt or die. This perspective gives us a unique appreciation for both struggle and cooperation. She paused, looking at each alien representative. We could have demanded your planets. We could have reshaped your worlds to kill you and suit us. Instead, we offer our hand in friendship. The galaxy has room for all of us. In the days that followed, the newly formed Galactic Council began its work. Ambassador Bradley led efforts to integrate Earth's technology with alien systems, creating new solutions to old problems. On 100 worlds, children of different species learned a new history. They were taught about the time all species voted to enslave Earth and how humanity responded with power and mercy. They learned the new first rule of galactic diplomacy: respect all intelligent life, but never, ever threaten Earth. And on the conclave station, now renamed Unity, the circular council table stood as a reminder that the greatest strength wasn't technology or biology, but the wisdom to use power wisely.